Do you know League of Legends 01? The question is probably too much. In an era where League games have become global entertainment culture, it's not just young people. With more than 180 million players, billions of views, and countless stadiums filled with cheering spectators. Longtime Alliance was beyond the definition of a simple video game. But every problem has two sides. Behind the light and the allure of League of Legends, it also has dark corners. Horror will send you the case today. Used to stir up the whole gaming community Alliance 2024. When a former gamer crosses the thin line between virtual and really, not only in the game, but even in real life. Park Hyun-ae, this beautiful 1991-born Korean girl. Not a gamer. You live a quiet life of office workers in Seoul. With every 7:45 a.m., we'll walk into the rush of people on the subway, into a sea of men in suits and polite shirts, and start the hustle and bustle of the city. At the end of the day, I return to my small apartment. Even though the work is busy, she still spends time cooking simple meals. Not just for yourself, but also because of the habit of sending food photos, so that parents can rest assured that their daughter is still eating well. Before going to bed, Hainan never forgets to video call back to home for parents. No matter how tired, she listened patiently to every story about buying gills, about the newborn chicken or the neighbor who just had a grandchild. The first months of salary, instead of buying the new shirt you wanted, Heina sent money home to fix the leaking roof before the rainy season. Your parents, former couple, has crossed the age threshold of 5610. Tell your neighbor about your daughter. Not only send money regularly, but also remember every anniversary, every holiday, and always come home whenever there's a chance to help with the housework. The most precious thing to them, it's not the money Hyundai sends back. It's about love and genuine care that you have for your family, no matter how busy life is in the capital. 2024. That happy rhythm continues with Hyun-ae and your family. At 9, the 27th of May 2024, as usual, I called home. The conversation lasted about 15 minutes. 2 days later, it was late the 29th of May 2024. Mystique continues to call home and told her parents that she was flying to Vietnam the next day. When I get home, I will buy some specialties, local gifts for parents. Until that time, none of the three of them expected that. Waiting for a young girl in a foreign country. A day later at 13:02, the 30th of May 2024. As told to the family, Lotte Hotel security camera. No, 54 Lee War tribute to Ba Dinh District, Hanoi. Take a picture of Park Hyun-ae in Vietnam. In blue clothes. She rushed to the front desk to check in. 13:10 after talking to the receptionist. Wee and Na, holding the card from room 612, entered the elevator. 13:20 the 60th floor suddenly made a loud noise. 60th floor hallway camera recorded hyena room door pop open. Then from the inside, a young man without a piece of cloth, with a trembling body, panic eyes. He hurried up the elevator to the 65th floor. In a state of loss of control, constantly muttering incoherent sentences, in Korean and in English, while messing with the security of the 65th floor hotel. Try to wrestle for a while, to keep the young man from doing bad. Ward Police Tribute, also quickly available in room 6012 of Hyundai, where just a few seconds later, they found the hyena still in there. But it's not as alive as it was 10 minutes ago. He was lying still with his eyes open. At the Lotte Hotel, what happened? Answer to this question. You can only learn from one of them. It's the one who's alive. It's the young man. However, when conducting preliminary interviews, the suspect is in a state of panic, constantly uttering meaningless sentences in Korean, mixed in English, which makes it difficult to get an initial testimony. Direct questioning does not yield results. So the task force was forced to deploy a two-pronged strategy. The first group consists of field experts. Take on the task of recording the details, even the smallest in Hyundai's room. The second group is the data analysis team, responsible for reviewing each security camera frame. Follow the track of time ago, during and after the tragedy. In the number 1 investigation group, the scene says a lot. The victim no longer has a chance to speak. The experts first discovered Hyone's body. There are some unusual signs. Area around the face, especially the eye area. There's evidence that you must have been under strong influence by a fight or dispute. Hyone's nails have scratches on the cuticles. Common signs of self-defense in dangerous situations. Evidence for the moment before closing your eyes. Hyone tried very hard to resist. A 1.9 by 2 centimeter size bruise on the left leg. Also recorded. May involve VA touching or ballast shrinkage in the process of the incident. Based on these signs, the investigation team determined that Wee and Na had been attacked. In Investigation Group 2, when checking the video extracted from the camera should. At first glance, the AI thought the hyena left the elevator alone at 13:10 that afternoon. But when viewing the full video, the police discovered details. It was just a few seconds after Hyena stepped out. A young man dressed simply, with shorts and t-shirts, also quietly stepped following her. He doesn't attract attention, but he's always very close. The strange thing is that Hyone doesn't show any insecurity or vigilance. On the contrary, you look completely natural. It's even somewhat comfortable. The way you move next to this person doesn't turn your head. Without hesitation, it shows that they don't just know each other. Maybe they're very close. And it's that intimacy. It makes things even more confusing. Immediately after the discovery, important details from V. Dyke. The police quickly tried to identify him. The man appeared with Hyundai. They actively contact friends and her relatives in Korea. I hope that AI can recognize it or know anything about the relationship between the two. The family does not recognize the object, but a close friend of Hyundai's immediately responded. You said that before. I once showed you a picture of this guy. And he's a new boyfriend. A Korean professional gamer. It's called the Haron family. He is currently competing successfully in Japan, in League of Legends. That information immediately became a turning point. Importance of the investigation. Based on the time we just picked up, the investigation team immediately expanded the trail of the trench. But this is the exact opposite of what I have shared. That you're a professional gamer. It's having a lot of success in Japan. The results of the investigation revealed a different reality. It's a legendary League player. But Jaren's career has been in decline for a long time. It's almost anonymous in the world. And Heron's real name is Lee Chanru. 2017, Lee joins Rin Wings at LCK. Korean League of Legends Championship in 2017. But there's not a lot of outstanding activity. Then in the 2018 season, the nickname changed to 2019 from race name changed to Yaren. To start the most disastrous season in teen history. A win is when there is no win. Even lost 18 games in the summer tournament. They only have one win in the spring. With the 6th of the year, that's a win of 35. One of the worst wins of the 6th century in the history of League of Legends. The 16th of November 2020 team disbanded. And Heron joined the British team and stayed there for 2 years. 2022 and Heron signed contract. Play for League of Legends team. Professional Japanese. Lotte Nation Focus Me. It has to end at the end of this year. Since then, no more AI hearing any news about Jaren. As a professional player, after many unsuccessful attempts at small teams, Lee Chen-su seems to have disappeared from the competitive gaming scene. There are no more posts about matches. No longer appears on the list of players. And the name Yahern has fallen into oblivion. Among thousands of other players. The investigators surmise that Maybe you can't find another team to join. Lee Chan-soo must accept the harsh reality that the dream of becoming a Sao esports star was shattered and returned to Korea. It's at a time when my career is at a standstill. Lee Chan-soo met with Park Hae-na. The girl has gentle beauty and gentle temperament, has become a rare light in a dark life of Chan-soo at that time. As the pieces of the story are pieced together, the relationship between Hyundai and Lee Chan-soo, it seems clear. However, deeper into the timeline and the journey of both, the investigators found another puzzling detail. If you think of this as a couple's trip, there's something that doesn't make sense. According to immigration records, instead of showing up at the airport like every other couple, more than a day before Hyundai to Vietnam, the 28th of May 2024, Lee Chan-soo has set foot here alone. Then 2 days later at 10:30, the 30th of May 2024, security cameras at the airport just recorded a picture of Hyundai step out from the entry area. The face shows no special emotions. There's no sign of finding that AI in the crowd. There was no eye for those who came to pick them up. You don't look. Don't call or text anyone. Hire a taxi straight to the center of Hanoi. Until the clock strikes 12:54 p.m. Hyundai just entered the main hall. Following is the glass. While arriving at the front desk and checking in. Check into hotel. The hotel camera recorded it. Lyra understood that he needed to go to the bathroom and temporarily left the hall. A few minutes later, the camera recorded the glass moving towards Hyundai. I'm standing around. The next strange detail appeared. In my hand are sports shoes. Instead of bringing it in, he put them on the floor next to you. After check-in, both go to the elevator to get to room 6012. At 1:09, they entered the room. That was the last moment that Park Hae-na had. Beautiful and filial Korean girl. Recorded as alive. What really happened behind the door of room 6012? No one knows. That's what happened in 10 minutes. The time between Hyundai and Lee Chan-soo. Walk into the room until he suddenly threw the door out. In a state of panic. But with the fact that the two of you clearly know each other, plus the unusual escape behavior right after the tragedy, the police need no evidence to believe that it was Lee Chan-soo who committed the crime. The perpetrator has been temporarily arrested, but the motive remains unknown. The police decided to search through the basics of Lee Chan-soo. Went to Vietnam. In addition to coming to the S-shaped country on May 28th, the glass is recorded, is to have a registered stay at Bao Sun International Hotel. It's a 14-minute walk from the Lotte Hotel where the incident took place. This detail doesn't seem to have much to do with it, but in the context of the case, they become immediately incomprehensible. If they're really a couple, why choose Bao Sun Hotel while Hyundai and Lotte Hanoi? What does this mean? To answer this question, investigators decided to go to the Bao Sun Hotel to find out more. When asked about the glass's stay, the receptionist exchanged apprehensive looks. Admit that there was a notable incident related to this guest. That's the glass that caused a commotion in the hotel lobby. On the first day here, because that day is the guest coming in, it means slowly afternoon. And then in the evening, we're not serving guests. Guest. Ask for and then ask for something. In fact, he also speaks some Vietnamese, a little Korean, and a little English, so we don't understand what he means. That is, the guests at the time were. Where did the glass go after leaving the hotel? To answer this question, the investigators decided to meet and interviewed the small businesses nearby. And here they heard a shocking story. Sure. Because of this incident, he was detained at the nearby Ngo Can Ward police station to clarify disruptive behavior. To get this information, Police Investigation Group immediately contact the police of Ngo Can Ward to clarify things. Here the ward police said, "When you see the glass is not normal," immediately took him to the station and reported him to the consulate. Ask relatives to bail. On the morning of May 30th, Hanoi arrived. After completing the procedure, about 12 noon. Then you both leave and transfer to Bizon Hotel for check-in. What makes a gamer like Lee Chanzo after all? There's extreme behavior and out of control, to the point of being detained. He is even suspected of causing Cho Hyonae's death. When Lee Chamberlain's identity is widespread on social media, League of Legends fan community, not out of shock. Many people are suspicious. Does he use it? Tomorrow too, or some stimulant or not? By the personal images that are shared in the months leading up to the time of the crime, there has been a significant change in appearance. From a normal fit gamer, he's become emaciated, dark eyes and pale skin. The essay is clear, plus abnormal panic behavior when running out of the room and tried to rush to the top of the building. Many people believe that it could only be the effects of stimulants. Before a wave of suspicion from the public and media, a representative of the investigative agency said, "We've conducted a forensic examination of the suspect, but the results came back negative. However, if there's any other sign that Lee Chanzo affected by external factors, we will continue to investigate." Although the test results showed the Kasu do not use My2, but the behavior is out of control, and his unusual behavior, the investigation cannot rule out the possibility of there's something that happened before. If the glass actually shows signs of psychological instability, question asked is that Sao Hyun-a. The people closest to him didn't realize it. With such a strange expression, maybe you're not even a little wary. To find the answer, the police decided to extract data from the phone of Hyundai to trace the last contact between her and the suspect. And here on May 28th, a dubious conversation between the two began. "Are you dreaming? I'm feeling so dazed. I don't know if it's a dream or reality. Do you feel pain again? I just feel happy. Now I can't even understand what you're saying." Not just through messages. A close friend of Park Hyun-a also confirmed that you're not blind. The opposite, Hyun-a seems to understand her boyfriend's problems quite well. This friend told me, Hyun-a once told me that Glass has psychological problems, and he's on medication. But when she told me, her eyes were still full of pride. She said she used to be a professional gamer. It's just that we've been going through a difficult time lately, so I have to take medicine. It's because we believe it's all a crisis. Temporary? Hyun-a did not retreat. And maybe it's also her destiny. Let's go back to the text between Lee and Hyun-a, which is seen as the key to the case. An unusual detail. It quickly caught the attention of investigators. After the first message, I lost contact. No call, no response. A silence that lasted almost 6 hours. The content of the second message is, "That's crazy. Where are you? Please charge the phone. Sorry, you are in Vietnam. Why are you there? Dear, please contact your father. One no, 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 no. No, no, no." In this message, Cho Hai-na knew that she was in Vietnam, and even left his father's contact information behind. Maybe let her call to bail or help him if anything happens. It was this detail that led the investigation. There's another question. Whether the father knew anything about the Glass's unrest. Or not. By the Glass actively leaving the phone number. It's not a random act. It is very likely to show his father was also somewhat aware of psychological problems that my son is dealing with. The questions surrounding the father became clearer. When the police contact you directly, And the answer surprised a lot of people. He admitted that he knew about the eccentric, about the son's long-term malaise. He even revealed an important detail. It's Lee Chan-soo, ever been diagnosed with bipolar disorder. Diseases that cause emotions to change 7 often, between extreme euphoria and severe depression. And for that very reason, he was exempt from military service in South Korea. Dablai said, when sick for the first time, he checked into the hotel, but not in the reception hall all day. It doesn't feel pain or heat. I don't know hunger at all. It doesn't stop there. The father also revealed an important detail. The investigation took a new direction. He said it was not long before the incident. Lee Chan-soo had to inject a long-term treatment, have a psychological stabilizing effect for more than a month. However, according to you, the glass begins to neglect compliance with the timing of repeated injections. And this is very likely has caused the pathological condition to deteriorate rapidly, especially for a few days, before leaving Korea and fleeing to Vietnam. My dad said when I told him to come home, he wouldn't. He said if he came back, I'd put him in the hospital. He even called the number, Emergency 112 in Korea, saying out loud that I'm trying to get him to the hospital. I'm trying to imprison it. In an interview, the police confirmed, not only are there signs of unrest after coming to Vietnam, even before the time of departure, Lee Chan-roo has shown his psychological expressions. It's alarming. Specifically at 21:58. 27/5 while in Seoul. The glass is off, walking barefoot to the police station in a state of panic. Here he confessed, someone is staring at me like they want to kill me. I was so scared that I ran to the station to hide. The glass was handed back to his father by the police, while still mentally unstable. A detail that makes everyone shiver. Less than 24 hours later, he set foot in Vietnam. Bring a psychological disorder. A tragedy is about to happen. With someone who's been diagnosed with bipolar disorder and had serious manifestations, like being naked in public, mandatory hospitalization is clearly a necessary option. And it's entirely possible. So when you look at the whole thing, the investigators couldn't help but ask questions. Why did the father not intervene early? By putting glasses into mandatory treatment. To this question he answered in a sad voice. When he was in the hospital, he refused to take his medicine and was tied up. I cry a lot. So I thought, I had to get him out of the hospital to take care of himself. A decision that comes from love. But the same decision, leaving a dangerous void, where a tragedy has quietly grown. When I heard the sharing, Professor Kim Tae-kyung expressed his opinion. When there are such symptoms of mental illness, the patient takes reasonable and appropriate action. It's very difficult. Even if you can't take a picture of yourself, mental patients are highly likely to kill. But obviously, families can predict and prevent. To avoid work, mental patients commit serious crimes. But in the end, he's not doing his role right. Maybe it was the father's subjectivity that paved the way for the glass. And then just a few hours later, on the afternoon of May 28th, he arrived in Vietnam. It's about a father's responsibility after all this. Dad only told me that. I was surprised when the Vietnamese police contacted the embassy. Then the embassy contacted me. Asked me when I'll be there. I just said I can't hurry. So his girlfriend said she was leaving. When the investigator asked, why can't you go to Vietnam in person, but let Haine go? Dad bowed his head sadly. It was because I was busy writing a bank loan extension. I told his girlfriend it was dangerous. You can't go alone. But he's still gone. As the trial process enters a period of tension. What's most concerning right now? Is it Lee Chan-soo to return to Korea or not? Because if extradited, he will be tried under Korean law, where the sentence and the procedure is for people with a history of mental illness. It may be very different from the current regulations in Vietnam. The question is not only legal, it's also touching the fine line between justice and humanity. between international jurisdiction and individual criminal liability? Answer to this question. The 6th of October 2024. Vietnam's Public Security Agency and the Korean police. Share with Asia Today. The likelihood of being extradited to South Korea is quite low. According to lawyer Dang Vang Quang, every act of aggression against life, human health in the territory of Vietnam will be dealt with under Vietnamese criminal law, unless the offender has diplomatic status. There is a special agreement between the two countries. In this case, Lee Chan-ru has no diplomatic status. They will be dealt with under Vietnamese law. The 14th of June 2024. 10:30, the police found the body in this man. Possibility of being repatriated to South Korea. It's almost zero now. There's even a chance he'll be sentenced in Vietnam, where it's very strict about the future. He is currently detained in a prison in Vietnam, while the cause is still unexplained. Park Hae-na's death is not just a heartbreaking case. It's a story that makes the AI in us. You also have to stop to think. Because of the way a human can slide in the dark, that no one actually sees. Because a girl believed that love can save a person who is on the brink. And about a father, between the very thin line between love and helplessness. Not everyone is a gamer. It's not that AI gamers are mentally ill, but the feeling of pressure, lonely and not listened to. So many of us have been through it. So why do people like glasses? Don't feel they're alone. Do Sao to people like Yenda not take the consequences? Kindness is not at the right time. Maybe if society cared the right way. If each family doesn't ignore the smallest signals. Tragedy like this didn't happen. And if things couldn't change, at least this story reminds us that sometimes tragedy doesn't come from malice. It comes from silence. Procrastination and the belief that everything will be fine.